Hi, kings and queens. Welcome to Spillin' Honey, the podcast that encourages you to spill it, honey. So, on today's episode, this is the kickoff of my Reach One, Teach One business series. And on this episode, I have my auntie with me, Miss Billionaire Barbie.
Hi
One
guys.
Hey, look. So today, I'm gonna be talking with her because, of course, she is one of my, she's probably one of my biggest business inspirations that I have. That are super close to me. Of course, my father was my first because he was, one of the first people I ever saw in business. And then, of course, I got to give a shout out, to my cousin Robin, of course, because she probably was the second person that I saw who, had her own salon and still has her own salon to this day. But, my aunt here, she is somebody that is truly that truly has a testimony, and that is truly I hate to say, but a rags to riches story. So I couldn't do a business segment without talking to her. I feel like doing a business segment without talking to her, it just don't go together. It's like peanut butter without jelly. So with that said, I want to dive right in to just kind of give you a little backstory. And I do tell my story a lot with why I started Spillin' Honey, why I call it Spillin' Honey. But I continue to say it repeatedly because I know that with each episode I do, there's going to be somebody who won't go back and listen to my older episodes, they may start right here, or it may be somebody who may be starting at one of my earlier episodes and they may not listen to this one. So I always try to, give my backstory, just kind of give a little synopsis of, why Spillin' Honey, why do I call it that, and why did I start this? So for starters, Spillin' Honey was kind of more so a play off of my first name. My first name is Brittany, of course, starts with a B. And, I wanted to kind of go along with the B theme, and I wanted something that wasn't so traditional, because I wanted something along the lines of like spilling the tea, but so many people have done that already and so many people say that already. So I wanted something a little bit different but could still go with the bee theme. So I was like, think about it. When you think about bees, you think about bees and honey. So I called it that, kind of like a wordplay on bees and honey. But I also called it Spillin' Honey because the entire purpose of this podcast is to spill those things that are sticky, those things that are uncomfortable, those things that may leave behind that residue in your life, those things that you are carrying around with you and they leaving streaks behind. And you're not cleaning those things up. Because think about it like this. When you have honey, if you literally crack a glass of honey, and that's why I, chose to do my logo the way I did it, with the jar of honey and the honey spilling out of it. But think about it. If you crack a jar of honey and it spills onto your countertop and you try to wipe it up, it's still gonna leave behind a little bit of residue. You gotta do a lot of cleaning, a lot of scrubbing, a lot of hard work to get that residue out. And so that is the purpose of this podcast, because I'm trying to get all of the residue, all of those sticky things, all of those things that are weighing me down. But in the process, I'm bringing people along with me to show others that, sometimes you could feel like you are on a lonely island. You could feel like you by yourself. You could feel like you the only person who's going through what you're going through. But in reality, I say this all the time. There's either somebody that has already been through what you're going through. There is somebody who is currently experiencing what you're going through. Or, there could be somebody, that had just got over it, or whatever the case may be. So it's always somebody that understands what it is that you're going through. And it's always somebody that needs to hear your testimony and your story so that it can help them. Hence why I named this Reach One, Teach One, because I wanted to name it something cool or something fly, like, the Mind Your Business segment. But, once again, those are so cliche and everybody does it. So I thought about it like this. Some people say each one teach one. Some people say reach one, teach one. But I thought it sounded better if you say reach one, teach one, because think about it. If you listen to Billionaire Barbie and you listen to her story and she reaches you and she's also teaching you and she's also telling you, through her story, that it's possible for you to literally come from the bottom and make it all the way to the top with the right amount of persistence and the right amount of determination. So now that I got my spill out the way, and I know that was a little lengthy, but now that I got my spill out the way, I want to go into my first question. So my first question for you is, how do you feel that your backstory pushed you into your success? So basically what I want to do with this question, I'm setting you up here to kind of give a little bit of your backstory, or as much of your backstory as you want, because this podcast is totally, raw, unfiltered. I don't care about language. I just want to let you know I'm putting that out there. Most people, when they come on here, they be like, oh, God, I feel sorry for cussing on your podcast. But no, this is totally raw and unfiltered. So you can be as raw as you want to be. But basically, how do you feel that your backstory pushed you into your success?
I definitely feel like my backstory is just like, it's the total driving force, to my success. I really feel like, first and foremost, I have to start by saying, like, before you get on a journey of anything, before you start anything, the first thing you're going to have to do is commit that thing to God. Like, if you anybody knows me, anybody follows me, they know, like, I'm real big on Christ. Like, I would not be here to have a testimony to tell if it wasn't for, him guiding me and keeping me throughout my journey. So I would say, like, a lot of times in my life, that first golden rule, I kind of overlooked that. And I learned over time that first and foremost, you got to put God in it. You got to get it to him. You got to go to God. Hey, God, I got this business idea. I got this plan. Like, can you please bless it? Can you please breathe your breath on it? Can you please think a good thought towards it? So that's first and foremost.
Amen.
But then immediately after that, it's going to be like my backstory. It's just like, I think for me, I could never go back to that lifestyle. I could never go back to living in survival mode. I could never go back to struggling. I could never go back to money being like the ruler of my life and, the ruler of, because for money, if you're in survival mode, you will do things that you normally wouldn't do because you're just trying to survive. So
right.
I know I could never go back to that. And so my backstory, it's like me thinking about, let me say it like this. Whenever I get in a pickle in business, whenever something doesn't go my way in business, or it's something like a difficulty, I always, no matter how difficult it is and how big the problem is, I always think to myself, oh, shit, I've been through like way worse. Let me sit down. I'm a cancer, so you I don't know if you guys know about cancers. We like to take naps, like when shit gets too overwhelming. So it's like, let me go smoke, lay down, take a nap, wake up, eat some comfort food, like some blue crabs or something, because I'm from Duval.
Duval.
And then it's like, I'm going to be able to think my way out of that pickle, out of that situation, no matter what it is. I don't think that anything in business can happen to me that's worse than something that happened to me when I was in the streets, if that makes sense.
Right.
So that's kind of like, my perspective is like, I've been through way worse. Like, I done thought myself out of life-threatening situations. So all I got to do is get in the right space to think myself out of this one. And I also think it's fear, honestly. It's like that fear of ever having to return to that definitely drives me and pushes me forward for sure.
Ooh, yes, ma'am. Yes to the answers.
Just being real about it. I feel like nobody ever said that. You know, the Bible tells us, like, you know, that thou shalt not fear. And I think that once we reach, like, certain heights and levels of success, we'd be like, you know, I ain't scared or telling you. But it's like fear drives a lot. And the biggest fear that I have is that. So you're not saying, like, you should be dwelling on a fear or nothing like that, because we know that's going to maximize it and actually make it come to pass.
Right.
But I just think that for me particularly, having that in the back of my head, because that'll never go away. I'll never forget the life that I used to live and the person that I used to be. So I think having that in the back of my mind, it's like, oh, hell no. I'm never going back to that shit. I'm never going back to nobody's strip club. I'm never going back to nobody's scamming. I'm not going back to no one's prison. It's not happening. So I better figure this shit out. And whatever I got to do, if I need to smoke me one, if I need to take a shot of Henny, if I need to eat, if I need to lay down and take a nap and just disconnect for the day, I'm going to do that before I ever let it stress me to the point where I just go back to the easiest shit in the world, which is the streets, in my opinion. It's the easiest thing in the world to do.
Okay, and so
like, you know, I really feel like that.
So piggybacking off that, just to be, you know, I always have to be devil's advocate with you. Why is it easier to go back to the street, or how is it easier to go back to the street in comparison to a business mindset? Because think about it like this: it may be somebody who listening to this who may be like 1 foot in the street but 1 foot legitimized, and they trying to. They battling, trying to figure out how I take this foot out the street, because the streets is so enticing, but how do I take my foot out the street? What advice would you give them?
Okay, so I would say, backing up a little bit, I say that it's the easiest thing in the world, because it is. It's real easy as a female to go shake your ass in a club. It don't require no experience. It don't require no training.
Right.
It don't require no nothing. And trust me, if you go in that environment, your ass don't get. You could be the greenest girl ever and don't know nothing about the streets. But then when you go in that environment, I give you 7 days. You're gonna be a whole nother person after that. I call it the darkest place on earth. So for a female, that's the easiest shit in the world to do. Selling pussy, that's the easiest profession in the world. It's the oldest profession in the world. It's been around since the beginning of time. It's never going nowhere. The easiest shit to do is lay on your back and fuck and get some money. That's the easiest thing in the world to do. For a dude, getting somebody that you already see on the block to give you a couple pieces of dope or some shit like that, and then standing on the corner and selling it to Jays that you see every day is the easiest shit in the world to do. Like, it's the easiest shit in the world to do, and I feel like that's why it's the most detrimental shit in the world, if that makes sense, because it don't require no effort, it don't require no prior training, it don't require no experience. And unfortunately, the thing about the streets is it's going to give you experience. It's going to teach you, and you just got to pray you make it out of it alive. And it's like, when you look at it, why take that chance when, now, let's back it up a little bit. For me, when I jumped off the porch, it wasn't no social media. There wasn't no Facebook. There wasn't no Instagram. It wasn't none of that. If your ass fucked around and got in trouble and got a felony, your options became strip, sell some pussy, sell dope, or rob, or boost, or scam. So you had 6 options. You know, the American way back then was our parents getting on a job and working on somebody's job for 30 years for peanuts. Right. And then they pushed us to do the same thing. And then when we didn't want to go in that direction, they called us crazy. Boy, you know that was the topic of the conversation for every family member down the pipeline.
Right.
It's like, it was just a different time back then. So just imagine, like, I feel like nowadays, if somebody got in trouble, because that's what happened to me. I got a felony young in Duval messing around. So it was a rap for, like, the real jobs. And that was where my hustle really kind of started at, for real. So it's just like, back then it was like, dang, what am I going to do for real? Because it's like a rap for me in Duval. I can't get no job. And then I ended up moving to Atlanta. And then I got in trouble in Atlanta. So now it's a rap for me in Florida. It's a rap for me in Georgia. It's no social media. Literally, like, when I came home from prison in 2010, I came home at the end of 2009, so you might as well say 2010. That's when Facebook had just started, and my little sister Bree made my Facebook page that I still got to this day that I don't even be on. So it's like, it was nothing like it is now. You know what I mean? So maybe back then, probably be like, nah, that wasn't the easiest profession in the world because, it's other, it wasn't other options that you had. But nowadays, all of that stuff that I named is the easiest stuff in the world because now you got Instagram. And you can literally be like the orange sock person. You can sell any fucking thing on Instagram. You can say, you know what, I really like orange socks. I'm going to just send hella celebrities my orange socks and have them post me up and tag me up and make this a thing. And it's like, somebody coming to that page, buying the socks, and now you're making $100,000 a month on Shopify off orange socks.
Right.
Like, I've seen, like, the craziest shit that's popping as fuck on Instagram. So I say that because it's like, you can get on that social media page and with consistently posting something with people seeing, like, oh, this person really got this. Like, she been posting this shit for the last 3 months. I'm going to tap in. And you can tell them to tap in, and they're going to do just that. Now, going forward to your question about people with 1 foot in, 1 foot out the streets, I really like that because you can't do both. You can't be 1 foot in and 1 foot out. You got to get this shit your all, 100%. I feel the same way about people that, unfortunately, this might, Brittany, they might be mad when I say this.
It don't matter.
I feel the same way about people who want to work a 9-to-5 job and be an entrepreneur.
Oh, you just hit me. You just hit me. Look, I was just telling my mama today, my mama talk about, do not go on that podcast. Look, I got to be honest on this podcast. Now, that's the whole point. My mama was like, do not go on that podcast, bringing your stressful day to that podcast episode. Because I promise you today, oh my God, it took me through the ringer, like literally because of that. I'm 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
And Brent, I've been telling you for years, like, just leap of faith. And you have a really good support system. Like, you got your mom and your dad, the greatest two supporters in your life, like, period. Like, that combination alone, them two gonna go to the ends of the earth for you. So it's just about facing it through, and I get it. I understand, especially being from where we're from. We're from Duval. So it's like I said before, this is what our parents did. This is what we watched them do, and this is what they kind of pushed on us. But you gotta have that faith, because when you take 1 foot, from the outside and put it all the way in, and you put all that faith 100% in God, it's like He's going to make a way out of no way. You're going to get idea. You're going to, I feel like we always think that blessings from God come in the form of money and finances and stuff like that, and sometimes it does. But sometimes God just give you I'm getting chills right now. Sometimes God just give you $1 million idea that you got to be in a certain space for. And, you put that in motion, and then it's like, damn, now you living a whole nother lifestyle because you had the faith to do it. So same thing I'm going to say for people in the streets. You just got to have faith. Like, I feel like it's kind of like if you committed something to God, when it's God's will, it's His will. So I do feel like discernment is very important. I don't feel like, don't just listen to this podcast and be like, you know what? Yeah, that's my sign. I'm going to quit my job today. Like, no.
Right. Okay. Don't be out here like people was on Beyonce Break My Soul. They was out here quitting their job because she talking about how the 9-to-5 stressed you out. And I'm like, oh, Lord. Don't do it.
Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Because I worked the job at first too. When I finally, God had to move me to like an island. He moved me all the way to Hawaii, from Atlanta when I lived here before, and put me like on the other side of the world. Literally separated me from all of this and from everything. And I was just happy to be able to get a job in corporate America again. Honestly, when I was in Hawaii, when I got that job at that architecture firm, Ferrero Troy and Associates. I'm working in a high-rise building in one of the most exclusive neighborhoods in Hawaii, in Ala Moana. Like, my view is the freaking Pacific Ocean. It's just like, this white man was a multi-millionaire. I never forget him. His name's Joe, and he used to walk with the money walk. That nigga Joe used to come in the morning. Good morning, LaToya. With the smooth, slow money gap scroll. I remember this. But I remember, thinking in my head, this man built this business from the ground up, and he has people that's working for him, and this is a multi-million-dollar company. What would stop me from being able to do this? But, I feel like also starting with a real job is important. Even though we know some of these young girls, they be like, I ain't working for nobody. I'm gonna hop on social media and that's that. But I will say that working 9-to-5 jobs, that's what I was learning a business sense through being an employee, if that makes sense.
Yes,
So
it does.
Yes, you have to be a good steward of what God gives you. You know, you gotta do it like you're doing it for God. Whatever I don't care if you flipping burgers at McDonald's, be like the best fucking burger flipper they ever knew, like they ever came across. Like when God sees that He can bless you with a little bit and you're going to be responsible and you're going to be grateful and you're going to take that little bit He give you and like treat it like it's gold. Oh my God, He's going to give you way more, so much more. So I feel like, that part was real important for me. But then when I was at Ferraro Short and Associates, I would get all my work done. Like in the first half of the day, the last half of the day after lunch, I used all the rest of those hours that I'm free and I would have just been sitting there surfing on the web. I was working on Billionaire's hair. It was Barbie Star Status hair at the time. And then I did that until, I'm telling you how it went exactly. That we have this thing called, it was a army base called Schofield, and inside Schofield we have a PA, which is like a little mini mall inside the military base, so to speak. Mm-hmm. When I first started going to Hawaii, it was for my birthday. My best friend, she grew up there, so she got a lot of family out there. She took me there. I call her my sister. Y'all probably know her if y'all follow her, CEO Lily, Sarita. So shout out to Lily. Shout out to Lily. So she took me there. She had been trying to take me like all of our friendship, and she took me there on the birthday trip, me and my daughter Joy, for my birthday. And I remember walking in that PX and looking to my left and seeing an open kiosk. Now at the time, I didn't even have no idea what the business was going to be. I just was like, I'm going to put a business right there. I just always knew that I wanted to do business. I didn't even know what the fuck the business was going to be. That's why it don't even matter sometimes. Just let God lead you, for real. So I remember seeing that kiosk, and then fast forward the time I met my husband, got married, I was still dancing. He was like, hell no, my wife's not going to be dancing. You got to quit. You need to move to Hawaii. I'm like, oh man, this man's serious. I didn't know it was going to be this serious, like even though we're married. Like, we got married pretty fast after we met each other. And that young man meant business. He was like, yeah, you're my wife now. You need to move over here to Hawaii, period. But it actually ended up being the best thing in the world for me. And so fast forward the time I'm working at Ferraro Short and Associates now, and that same kiosk, I'm seeing it when we going inside like Schofield whenever we would go to the base. So I just felt led, and that's why I'm saying when it's God's will, it's His will. It was just like God put it on my heart, and I didn't wait. I didn't procrastinate. I didn't sit on the idea because, God will give you an idea, and then your ass want to wait and make sure.
And He going to give it to somebody else.
He going to give it to somebody else, and then your ass going to be scrolling on Instagram.
Oh, my God. I know. I done lost so many ideas. So please, y'all, I had to pause right here. I didn't mean to cut you off. But please, if God give you an idea, and I know sometimes God be giving us ideas in the weirdest of places, the weirdest of times. So far out, too. Seriously, like, I don't care. I promise you, God always give me ideas when I'm in the shower, y'all. I cannot tell, and I know that's a little bit too transparent, but I'm being honest. I literally cannot tell y'all how many times I have had to hop out the shower to write something down because I didn't want to lose it.
Yeah. But see, He be giving them to me when I'm like, the shower is a good place too, but it's like when I'm sleeping or something, like, and they started in prison. Like when I was in prison, I'm really inclined with music. I just kind of like hide it. I be feeling like I better come out with my music and stop being scary, for real. That's another mission, for real. Because just as well with that, same shit that I'm seeing, God was like, I've been told you to do, you scary. Like, you don't want to, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, but He'll give me songs in the middle of the night, and I'm waking up, like, to the point where when I was in prison, I used to sleep with a pad and a pen next to my bed. So the same thing just as well with business now. I'll get some of my best ideas wee hours or the morning, or I'm trying to go to sleep and I can't. And, old folks always said, like, if you're trying to go to sleep and you can't go to sleep and you tossing and turning these the wee hours of the morning, just get up and start writing or something, or start praying. It's not God trying to talk to you. He want to have a conversation with you. It's something He's going to drop on you. He needs your attention by yourself in that time, for real. So I definitely feel you with that, you know what I'm saying? But you got to act on the ideas that He give you right then. I swear to God, like me procrastinating about things is like my biggest downfall. I know that I'm my own worst enemy in that aspect, for sure.
Me too.
So you know, it's just like God just dropped it in my spirit. And he was like, you know, go talk to them people about this kiosk. And I was like, okay, cool, because let me back it up a little bit. So here, you know, I just came from Atlanta, Georgia to Hawaii. Hawaii is like kind of like being in a third world country sometimes. Like you don't, you know, unless you're going to the beach and shit like that, you ain't really knowing you in Hawaii like that. It's a culture shock. So they don't have the things over there like what we have here in Atlanta, like Planet Bountiful beauty supply stores and weave and stuff like that. And then the stuff that they do have, they're taxing a lot on it because it's like, you know, the luxury tax to get it across the sea for real.
Right.
So it's just a little bit different, you know. So when I got over there, I remember going in the beauty supply store and it was like a 22-inch bundle of hair, and I think they wanted like $169 for the one bundle, and I was like, oh hell nah, baby, I just left Atlanta, Georgia. 30 inches is $100. So I just was like, I cannot pay these prices. I was ordering hair from AliExpress at the time, this place called H&J Hair Company. I'll never forget this shit. I didn't know the first thing about hair. That's why you just got to go with what God's telling you to do. I didn't know shit about hair. All I knew is that I've been doing hair since I was young. I probably did my first sew-in on my sister when I probably was like 11 or some shit, 12 years old, real shit. You know what I'm saying? On your mama. You know what I'm saying? So
I remember the story.
11 or 12, probably. Me and my sister be having a timeline mixed up, but I'm telling you, Britt, I'm like, when Nikki was like 19 or something like that, we're 11 years apart. So I'm probably like 10 or something like that for real. I was young as hell, though. Very, very young. Just always been advanced. So all I knew about hair was that I've been doing my own hair for a long time. I done did my sister's sew-in several times. I be doing my cousin's hair. Then I started dancing. I'm doing my hair, doing other strippers' hair that work with me and shit. It was just like something that I just was good at, but nothing that I ever thought, you know, would take me to the places it did. And then, you know, I get to Hawaii and them prices were so crazy. I said, oh, hell nah, bro. I'm finna start selling hair. Back up the story a little bit. There was this page called Hawaii Weaves. My sister Lita, she posted me on the page. She grabbed my phone and was like, you ain't gonna never post this. I've been telling you about this page for a month now. Give me your phone. I'm finna post it. She like, post your work. Girl, what was my work? My work was pictures of her hair, my hair, and Joy hair at the time. So I was like, man, these people ain't finna be studying me. Anyways, this girl grabbed my phone, post that shit up. That shit started going crazy. I think at the time I was doing $75 or $100 installs, like sew-ins or some shit. It was some real cheap amount that I was doing it. And I'm traveling to people because people couldn't come to me at the time. We lived in like this small apartment in this place called Salt Lake in Hawaii, and it was just not it. So I had to travel around to people. I had a loud-ass Mercedes-Benz truck that sounded like a lawnmower. You can hear this bitch 5 miles down the road. That motherfucker used to be like, go, 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 go. I'm like, oh, my God.
I done been there.
Maybe I used to be in that loud truck all around the island getting it in. And then I was just like, I'm going to sell hair because I know I can get this hair from H&J for the low for real. And, you know, shit, it do good enough for me, so it should do good enough for them. And that was really, like, my philosophy and what I thought about it. Take the whole thing with you. That was really my philosophy and what I thought about it or whatever. So I was like, yeah. So I ordered the hair. And the difference between me and them out there was I had that shit on hand because there was a few girls that were saying, like, hey, you know, I got some hair. It's going to take 3 days to get here. I just ordered that shit all at one time. I had took my $600 check. Lita gave me her $600 check. I had $1,200. I bought the first bomb of hair, and I just kept flipping from there. So when I posted that I got that shit on hand, man, I said, I'm going to make my prices what the prices in Atlanta is. I think it was like $55 for a 12-inch up to like $100 for a 30-inch for real. So I made the prices like that, and I started getting off work from Ferraro, Troy and Associates, making real serious bread after that. And it's like they was buying the shit out of their hair. It just went crazy. We posted it on the weed page. I'm meeting girls at Walmart and Starbucks selling them hair. So, you know, fast forward. So this is what I mean when I say I was at Ferraro Choice sitting at my desk working on my business because I started working on, like, the Facebook page. I had made an Instagram. Instagram had kind of came out, but I made one specifically for the hair. And I was just like, you know, I would be working on it. And then he just told me, like, go talk to them about the kiosk. Man, I go in there. Some folks tell me it's no money down to get started. Like, this is what I mean by when it's God's will, it's his bill.
When it's God's will, it's his bill. Keep that in mind, y'all.
You don't gotta worry about it. If he said to do it, he gonna give you the provision to do what he put you on a mission to go do every time. If you struggling in it, I ain't gonna say that all the time because I don't want people to get stuff misconstrued too, because you are gonna have trials and tribulations and stuff. But if it's real struggling, that's probably an indication it's not his will for your life. So that's something that you gotta go pray and get discernment about, because there's not ever been, I'm getting chills for Jesus. There's not ever been nothing that God put me on a mission to do that he didn't provide for me for. But in my life, things that he meant for me not to do, he dried those areas up. And he knows his child, he's going to get my attention with money every time.
Yes.
Every time.
A lot of us can relate to that.
For real.
Drop that money, we be like, Lord, please.
Right.
Ain't talked to God in 6 months. As soon as that money dry up, God, bring it back, Lord. I promise I'm going to do right, Lord.
Exactly. That's why you got to learn to praise him in the midst of, in all thy ways, you got to acknowledge him. Like, the Bible literally getting you the keys for real. Now, the thing that I feel about the Bible is this. We got to take it in a more literal sense, because we live in 2023 and we know this was written thousands of years ago. But it don't necessarily mean picking and choosing. It just means like certain things, like a woman wearing pants in 2023. We know we got to use our discernment for that. It doesn't, you know what I'm saying? That doesn't fit with our time. But that Bible is literally the keys to success for real. You know, I'll be on my manifestation. You know, think positive. So is it, you know what I'm saying? Like think it, speak it, whatever.
Right.
But all of that comes from the Bible first. We originated that. Manifesting, speaking it to an existence, think so as a man thinketh in his heart is he. We literally invented that. That came from us first.
Right.
So it's like, you know, that Bible giving you the keys, and it's like all your ways you got to acknowledge him. When it's good, when it's bad, like when you don't know, when you happy, when you sad, and all that, when you're doing wrong. When you're doing wrong, you still gonna have to acknowledge God.
Right.
And I know that's a real hard pill for
right.
some people that's wrong.
Because some people don't feel worthy of it. Some people feel like, well, I'm already doing wrong. God ain't going to love me anyway. But that's the time where you need to draw nearer. Yeah.
That's the time when you need to draw me. Do you know how many times the enemy got me with that shit right there, and I would go head first back into the street? It was when I found out what grace was that I was like, okay, I get it, Lord. Well, listen, whatever it is that I do, I'm going to have to come to you in shame. And it be hard, y'all. When I know I'm wrong as hell, and I gotta still go to God, and then I literally have praise and praise set up on my phone to go off 9 times a day. So,
right.
I'm talking shit and praise and praise.
Right. I know. That's how I be with that Bible lamp.
Y'all know how I go. Let's be real for real. You
right.
fornicate, you fucking shit out of somebody that's not your husband or your wife. I don't care if it's your long-term boyfriend or whatever, clever. Like, it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? Back to masturbate, whatever. You back to fucking get drunk, and you know, like, bitch, we gonna get fucked up tonight. Like,
right.
You know how I used to go to God, like, but you gotta acknowledge him in all of it. Like, if I didn't know how to go to God when I was in the street, I probably wouldn't even be here talking right now. I used to be going to the strip club and, like, to work, and I used to have on praise music, and you know, for the first half, I'm getting ready at home, and then I turn on my computer or something on my way to Follies for real. But I literally, if I would come down to Jacksonville to work at Mascara, I would be, as soon as I'm driving into Jacksonville, you can just feel it when you're driving into Jacksonville. And I used to play this song by Ernest Pugh called Rain, and it's like, let your glory fill this place. I'm telling you, like, I know that, like, you know, our prayers from our grandparents and stuff like that, that's all good. But you better be praying for yourself.
Right, exactly.
You better be praying for yourself for real. You know what I'm saying? So back to it. So he gave me the provision for it. And I didn't have no idea what I was doing. I didn't even know about hair like that. And then it just went crazy. This is the evidence and the indication that how you know God is in it. When it's supernatural, when it's uncommon, when it's moving at a rate that man cannot take credit for, that's how you know God got his hand on it, for real.
Right.
When I got on that kiosk, I went to the local radio station, and I had them come out to my grand opening, and we gave away, like, some hair for raffle prizes and stuff. People was calling in, pulling up. I sold every piece of hair that I had. I probably made, like, $15,000 that day, and that was the first $15,000 that I had ever made doing something legal.
Wow.
So that was very, people was buying shit at the end that didn't even make sense. It's like, all we got is like this straight 12-inch bundle, and then I got this 16-inch like loose wear. Fuck it, I'll take it. Like, what?
Right, they was trying to get anything from you.
They was trying to get anything.
Because they probably ain't never seen them prices and stuff before.
Never had seen them prices, especially not in Hawaii, for real. And I was just following off, but there is this company, I wonder if they still in business, called Hair R Us. I was literally like, that's why I used to get hair from Atlanta. So I was like, I'm going to just put Hair R Us prices. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So it's like, you don't got to know what you're doing in this shit. You just got to do it.
Yes. You know oh, my gosh. Yes, we got to pause right there real quick and put that nugget in there. You do not have to know what you're doing to go into business. That is so important. A lot of us feel like, oh, my gosh, I don't have it all together. I don't have a business plan. I don't have this. I don't have that. You got to start, and then all that other stuff, you can figure that out along the way. Don't let nobody talk you out of it, because people will be like, oh, you don't have this. Oh, you don't have that. Oh, you don't have this. Start it first, and then get all that other stuff out the way. And pace yourself, too.
And understand that everybody that you see doing business, from, I'm looking out my window right now, I'm looking at the Carter's building, I'm looking at Noble, I'm looking at AMC, I'm looking at Saks Fifth Avenue, you know, so from businesses, I'm looking at the Marsh Mercer building. So all these businesses that I just named right here, smack dab in the middle of Buckhead, all started from the bottom up and didn't know what the fuck they was doing. Guaranteed if you look up their backstory.
Right.
I remember we looked up Ruth Chris backstory. Ruth Chris backstory, that's a lady, Ruth Chris Steakhouse. And the reason that, and like it's so phenomenal. If you guys get a chance, it's like gonna really inspire you if you're passionate about business.
Yes.
It's like Ruth Chris Steakhouse. She had to name it that because women wasn't allowed to have shit back then.
Wow.
But she pioneered and was like, no, I'm going to get this business. And it was like somebody's steakhouse that was going out of business, Chris's Steakhouse. So she acquired it and bought it from him, and then she named it. She kept Chris on the name to keep them off of her, basically, and call it Ruth Chris Steakhouse, for real. She started that business from the ground up. And a lot of these companies, that's their story. So Ruth ain't know what the hell she was doing. She just was like, I'm going to get this steakhouse, and I don't care what these people talking about. I can't get it because I'm a woman.
Right. Hers and Benny Hanna's too. If you get a chance, check out Benny Hanna's story too. His story is good too. Yeah,
I gotta check that out. For I be loving stories like that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, same thing with McDonald's stories. So
yes, please go watch The Founder.
The Founder?
You told me about, you put me on that. Yes, please, if y'all listening to this and you have not seen The Founder, which is the McDonald's story, please go watch that.
It's so good. It's going to inspire you so much. And we telling y'all these gems so that y'all can understand, like, I don't care how confident we come off. We didn't know what the fuck we was doing when we got started. I don't care. You can go to I Am Billionaire Barbie right now and look on that page and be like, God damn. And I didn't know what the fuck I was doing when I got started. Same thing with taxes. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. But the difference between now and then, man, this is the information age, and it's like people pay big money for information, and you can sell information for big money too. It's a big part of what I do nowadays. So it's like, always remain a student. Like, I'm such a nerd. Like, people get to know me that don't know me and like look at that page and think whatever they perceive me as, and then get to know me and be like, "Bitch, you really a dork for real?" And I'm like,
right, exactly.
I'm always in a book. I'm always researching something. That's just naturally who I am. So always remain a student. But it's like none of us knew what we was doing. I certainly didn't know what I was doing. And here's the next thing. I want to drive home. Trials and tribulations are going to come.
A lot of them.
First of all, it's coming to strengthen you, though. Like, if you don't know how to handle $100 problem, how you gonna handle $1,000 problem?
Right, $100,000, $1 million,
$1,000 problem. Right. How you gonna handle $100,000 problem?
Right. Mm.
And it just keeps going like that. And so I'm saying that for a reason, because 2 times in my life in the hair game, these girls ripped me a new asshole. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, let's back it up to Hawaii now. I already said I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Now, when something starts selling in volume, here's where quality control and customer service start coming into play at. And for most small business owners and entrepreneurs, we're not prepared for that because you can't gauge it. You can't say, you can. You can manifest things and stuff like that. I don't mean it like that, but I'm saying when your first big sale happens, you're not going to know. You know what I'm saying? You're going to wake up that day like it's any other day, and it's like you don't even know, boy, you got an anointing on you this day, and it's going to be one of the best days of your life for real.
Right.
So it's like, but whenever you selling something in volume, get ready for it, because here it comes for real. And so that's what happened to me in Hawaii. I'm selling in volume, and then all of a sudden, it's like, here's the quality control. And half the people are saying they love the hair. It's wonderful. It's the best shit they ever had. Other people are like, bitch, this is the worst, most trash hair I ever had in my life. Now, I could have did one or two things in that situation. I could have said, this ain't for me, which is what most people do when adversity comes.
Right. Ooh, yes.
They're going to run from it because it makes them uncomfortable. And our businesses are babies, so you feel like someone is personally coming for you when most times they aren't. And then sometimes they are personally coming for you, right? But I had to learn how to detach emotions from out of business. But most people run at adversity, and that's what separates the greats from the little ones.
Right.
Because the greats kept going no matter what the fuck the people said.
Right.
They figured out a way to shut them the fuck up. And so I kept having that problem, and now I'm getting more popping because I'm doing shit on this island that ain't nobody ever seen before. So I got a commercial on the radio. I ended up putting a commercial on TV during Love and Hip Hop. I got a kiosk. Like, these girls hated my fucking guts, for real. So the first opportunity for them to find fault with me and try to bring me down, please believe they did. Right. So then it was like, they're on the Facebook page talking about the hair, and the other, like I said, it's how can have the consensus. Half saying they love it, half saying they hate it. So what I did was, at the time, this was my girl. Like, I hate that. I feel like some of my mentors, I hate the black girl mentality. I guess that's what I'm getting at. I hate that you can have a really good mentor, but when that mentor start to feel like you passing them, they don't fuck with you like that no more.
Yeah.
So I had a real good mentor at the time, and I'm not going to say her name since I said that, but she was from Duval, too. You know who I'm talking about, Britt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And that relationship being severed hurt my heart to this day, but when God show you somebody hating on you, you got to believe God, and like, my cutoff game's so motherfucking strong. Like,
yeah.
I don't give a fuck who it is. I don't think y'all understand. That shit is like, I'm a Cancer, so already emotions is like a water faucet or a light switch. I can turn it on and turn it off. But my cutoff, it could be, nigga, I don't care who it is. Like, if that person is being a negative driving force in my life and not serving me well, don't have my best intentions, I'm snipping their ass off for real. So I had to cut this girl off, but at the time, this was like my biggest confidant in the hair game. And I'm like, she all the way in Jacksonville. She had the most popping shop out there at the time. And I'm like, damn, what do I do? And she was like, get a quality warranty. And I said, whoa, I ain't never think about that. She was like, get a quality warranty. Look into it with your suppliers. That was all the game she gave me. So I ended up hitting the suppliers like, hey, can you offer me a warranty on this hair? Like, at least for 30 days. Like, if something happens to this hair when they put it on their head in the first 30 days, you guys going to have to replace it for them. To my surprise, the suppliers was like, sure, no problem, because at this time, now I'm ordering $10,000 and $15,000 loads from them at a time. They want to keep the business. Eventually, I had to, get off AliExpress and, like, find a real vendor. I think my first real vendor hit me up on Facebook or something like that. It was crazy. Like, but I was on AliExpress for a long time until the real vendor that ended up hitting me up, that vendor, this shit is crazy how shit comes full circle. That vendor, my first real vendor, not only taught me everything about the fucking hair game, quality warranty, that there's no risk such thing as, 10, 89, that's just a marketing mechanism, like how to test out the hair to see if they, if it's blended, blah, blah, blah. This supplier taught me everything about hair, and then years later still turned around and fucked me over. So it's crazy how this
wow, shit. Yeah, people do that.
It's crazy how it goes, for real. But, not to be so lengthy and make it so long, for real. It's just like, that once I offered that quality warranty, that shit everybody mouth up. I was like, now offering quality warranty. If anything happens to your hair within 30 days of purchase, you know, as long as they didn't dye it or something like that, we will replace the hair for them. And that just kind of shut everybody mouth up. Right? I had no more problems after that. Found the real plug and got that real good work after that, and then it was just a go from there. So around this time, you guys, I had just had Princess. You guys came to see me in Hawaii,
right?
And then shortly after you guys left Hawaii, I had to move from Hawaii and move to Virginia. I remember I did not want to leave Hawaii. I just was like, I'm not moving. Shit, that nigga could move by himself. I'm not PCSing. And then them folks was like, all right, cool, you can stay, but we're going to pay you for Virginia. And I was like, how much is that? It was like $1,300 a month. I said, oh, well, I guess I'll be packing my bag.
Right. Right. Goodbye.
We was getting like $6,000 a month in Hawaii. They talking about they going to pay me $1,300. Baby, you going to live at the beach with that shit in Hawaii. It's very expensive. So, you know, it was something that God forced me to do. And later, I remember me and God having like a little inside joke. He's like, so you really thought I was going to just put you on the island and just leave you there, girl? Come on, like, think big. You need to think big. You think you're small. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
For real. So I ended up having to move to Virginia. And once again, this is how you know stuff be supernatural. Moved to Virginia. Didn't want to move there. But it was what we had to do. I'm married to military.
Right.
Get there. Try to do the military-based thing just like I was doing in Hawaii. That shit did not go over well at all. It just wasn't even the same vibe, none of that stuff. I remember the one base that I was doing good on, they was hating on me. That was Norfolk. They wouldn't let us come back because they had a little hair salon in there. So the girls talking about we still in their business, which we was, but bitch, our business wasn't doing shit. But anyways, I just was like, damn, this is so challenging. Like, this is crazy. This is exactly why I wanted to stay. Which is why I'm going to highlight again. You can't run from the adversity. You can't run from the challenges that you... Let me just put it to y'all like this. There is nothing that you're going to do in life that you're not going to have challenges and adversity in and bad times in.
Right.
And slow times in. Mm-hmm. You can't ever avoid those things. What you can do is set yourself up to be able to handle them more smoothly. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't so stressful. But you can't avoid that, for real. So... that adversity was happening to me to push me to get my own space finally, military base free for real. So I remember I ended up finding this space, this office building like type setup or whatever. It was in Newport News off Jefferson Avenue. Yo, that shit was $600 a month. And I remember being like, oh, Lord, it's me and you. How we gonna pay this? $600 a month now. And but he was like, move. So I moved and I got it. So I got the space. I remember me and my husband was in the space. We decked it out, made it look pretty and stuff like that. Had a grand opening, packed out grand opening, same thing, and made a bad grand opening. This was probably like March I opened that store. It was like when I opened that store in Virginia, business just flooded for real for me. And then shortly thereafter, I came up with this technique called Scalpiana, where I'm parting the wig all throughout, and it looked like your real scalp. So my brand was like Real Scalp Illusion Scalpiana under Billionaire's hair. And it just went crazy, like wildfire. It was like, I opened the store in March. I think it was either like April or May. I ended up getting an opportunity to go fly out and do Monique Slaughter hair. She was like the most popular thing in her and Masika on Love and Hip Hop at that time. I fly out here to go do this girl hair. She like, I'm going to introduce you to Masika. Masika come through and get her hair done. They both like, we're going to introduce you to old girl who, you know, worked Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. I talked to the girl on the FaceTime break. The girl said, I fuck with your vibe. I'm going to put you on. Meet me up here on Monday. Come to work with me. So I'm like, okay, cool, bitch. I'm going to work on Love and Hip Hop. Man, I went to work on that set. She said, you're hired. You got the job. And also, I have another job coming up for you for Hip Hop Squares. I think they just brought it back, called it Hollywood or Celebrity Squares.
Yep, DC hosted.
But it was Hip Hop Squares at the time. I got the job for that too, so I had to come back out there in June and shoot for that. So it was just like back to back to back. Then I got the Basketball Wives job. Then I got to film season 7 and actually be on like 2 episodes of Basketball Wives. This stuff happened so rapidly. Like before I could wrap my head around it, that shit was happening for real. Fast forward the time, I'm back and forth from Virginia to Hollywood. Me and my husband starting to have problems. So it comes down to the point where I know it's like the best thing for me to do is get a divorce. So I'm going through a divorce while I'm on a 22-city tour like a rapper teaching hair. And I had to pull my shit together, like, because they came to see Billionaire Barbie. They want to hear Scalpiana and all that bullshit, because I was not in the movie for it at the time.
Right.
So, yeah, so, you know, I was really going through it, and that's when I ended up moving, getting a place out in Hollywood or whatever. And then from there, I got my space, like, right smack dab in the middle of Hollywood, 1,600 out of my window, out my balcony. It's like Frank Sinatra star right there. It's like, it was crazy to live in Hollywood coming from out East Jacksonville, Florida, just like it was crazy to live in Hawaii coming from out East Jacksonville, Florida. It's like, I'm telling y'all the backstory because I be feeling like it's so important because you got to know how much supernatural activity has been going on in this whole thing.
Right.
It's not me. It's like I would love to sit here and be like, you know, I'm just great. Like, of course I would. I'm a Cancer. I love bigging myself up. You know?
All right.
It's not me. It's like, I'm telling y'all, it's God. Like, bro, a human being cannot move mountains like that. Only God could do that, for real.
Right.
And so it's just like he just had his hand in the whole equation, you know. So going back to how we even got on this tangent, 1 foot in and 1 foot out. If I would have just stayed at Farrell, I remember quitting that job at Farrell, Troy and Associates when I was in Hawaii. It was the hardest thing in the world I had to do because that was my family there. I really loved them. Like, they really loved me. But I knew that's what I had to do. If I would have kept that job, girl, when I quit that job, oh, God, you know, my brain was calling everybody over all throughout Jacksonville, Florida. Talking about, she's so stupid. She finna quit her good-ass job. Bitch can't get a job nowhere else. She'll tell it. You know, she was talking shit. Crazy. I said, Mama, this is what I got to do. I know you won't understand, but, baby, this is what God's telling me to do. I'm going to have to do what he's telling me to do for real. It's like, because sometimes when God gave you the vision, he only gives it to you. I don't give a fuck who you tell it to. Nobody else will see it but
that's
you.
Another nugget. When he gives it to you, he gives it to you. It's okay to talk to your friends, your family, your whoever about it, but it is yours, and you got to remember that. And it's going to sound crazy to other people, but it's supposed to, because it's not theirs. Yep. It's yours.
You know what? My first lady be saying, I go to World Changers to Creflo Dollar out here in College Park in Atlanta. Taffy Dollar is the first lady. Taffy did like a 2-week segment on that, and she said, you're not crazy, you just first. And I swear to you in life, like,
wow.
Right, like, it's so profound. She said, you're not crazy, you just first. And she just went into how she was like one of the first people to get saved in her family. She didn't come from that type of family. Then she meet Creflo. And then, you know, they get together. And then, you know, now God starting to open her eyes. Like, you finna be the mother to a lot of people from this big church. And she like, like, Lord, I don't know. You need to reconsider. Like, you understand?
Right.
Yeah. And she was like, you know, how radically she had changed. Everybody was like, you crazy, you crazy, you crazy, you crazy. She said, I'm not crazy, I'm just first. And she was like, that change in her created change. She like, now my mama saved, my daddy saved, my brother saved, my cousin saved. Like, that change in her, like, really a whole swept over her whole family, her bloodline, for real. So it's like, excuse me, it's like, sometimes you're not crazy, you're just the first to do something that seems so far out and far-fetched to people tiny thinking that it seems like you crazy, but you're not crazy, you're just the first to do it for real. So do that shit for real. Because when you die and you close your eyes, you're not going to be able to be like, oh, hold up, Lord, I didn't get to do that.
Right.
Like, wait, real quick, send me back down, because now right now I want to go do it. Nah, nigga, when you die, that's it.
That's it. Make it count. Make it count.
Curtain closed. You know what I'm saying? You on to the next chapter of whatever it is. You know, the scariest thing in the world to me is thinking about existing forever somewhere. Like, that's crazy. Whether it's heaven or hell, it's like the scariest thing in the world to me is thinking about you're never going to die. Like, your ass going to exist forever. If you here, you're going to always be in some form. So it's like, do that shit. Like, do it. Like, you're only going to get one life experience, so you better do what you want to do while you living this life for real. So it's like, if I would have kept 1 foot in and 1 foot out, I would not have even seen the taste of all the glory God had for me in it. And you know what else is a big exercise on? Do you really trust God like you say you do? Or you trust that job? Like, do you trust that job to provide for you and feed you? Or do you really look to the hills from where your help comes because you know it comes from the Lord? You gotta let him lead you, because when he gives you that job and he gives you the okay, he gives you the go ahead, you're gonna know it. And that's literally him telling you, now you you or a dude who's paying for everything for you or your girlfriend or your wife. There is no comparison to when God lets you know, hey, check this out. You mine. You belong to me. And I'm responsible for all that.
Right. And when I say quit, look, I gotta put emphasis on that. When I say quit.
When I say quit, trust me and believe me, like he's not gonna bring you out to the deep just to drown you. He don't operate like that. We don't gotta die like that. Because we be breaking his heart because we don't trust him for real.
Wow.
We trusting his money. The minute you get your trust out of that money and you put it in God for real, you gonna see your life take a turn and change to the best you ever seen it in your life for real. It's like me, my relationship with money is so radical and different. I don't even view it like probably nobody in this world unless they tap in with me view it. It's like when I need that shit, it's gonna appear. I could have $1 today at 6:12, and then at 8 p.m. I could be up $25,000. Like you know what I'm saying? It's like I don't. Sometimes I literally have to swipe my card and that mother decline. I be like, oh yeah, you need money to like do shit. Okay, yeah, let me get it on. You know what I'm saying? Which is kind of fun too because I'm really irresponsible. But I'm so irresponsible. I'm going. Have no trust or faith in money at all whatsoever.
But that's good.
That's the best shit I ever did for my life.
Yeah, that's good. You got to. That's another nugget for y'all. Take your faith out of the dollar. Literally, take your faith out of the dollar.
The money is not real. This world system will make you think that it's scarce. That it's scarcity in everything. It makes you think it's a shortage of everything and that you gotta just acquire and get. No, you don't. All you have to do is sit back and attract that shit. All you gotta do is trust God for it. You don't gotta do no crazy. I wish I knew this sooner. You don't gotta do no crazy shit for money, no none of that. All you gotta do is have your heart and your mind in the right place. A lot of times you gotta unplug yourself from this world. Like I remember I opened up a fortune cookie one time and it said to hear God's voice, turn down the world's music.
Wow, that was a good one.
And I never forgot that. I remember I had that fortune cookie little strip on my grandma's mirror in the bedroom at my house forever for real. So it's like sometimes you gotta turn the world music down, unplug from Instagram, unplug from TV, unplug from radio, and like focus and hone in on God and His Word. And I do feel like you have to I wish you had more time. I really feel like you have to meditate and you gotta start training your mind because you have these negative notions and preconceived notions that came from your mother. And your mother, they came from her mother. And it's a long generational line that somebody got to be brave enough to cut the cords on, if that makes sense. So you don't really have a fighting chance when you come out because you already came out with an enemy attacking your mind and understand the mind is the battlefield. So it's like you have to work on that mind. You have to rid yourself. You have to reprogram your subconscious mind. You really do. I think that none of this stuff that I'm saying is even important besides God. That's number one and first. But nothing else that I said is more important than reprogramming your subconscious mind. And you can literally go on YouTube and figure out how to do this. Just go on YouTube and type in reprogram my subconscious mind for wealth or for success. And now, welcome to the club, baby, because you're going to be down the whole rabbit hole with this correct. And once you get on it, you never can get off of it. So I literally, to this day, I do it. You know, I listen Brittany, I'm like, let me go see who's in these DMs today. DMs, everything I want to see is in there. 5 people want to buy a $5,000 class, and I just was like, okay, I'm going to go buy this thing because I set my intention. I said, I want $25,000 to go buy this watch right now, and I don't want to spend no money that I already got. And then who's even looking here at the end of the day, I'm calling you like, hey, I'm coming to see you tomorrow to buy this watch that I want. Or whatever it is, it might be. I just test it out oftentimes. And that's another one me and you will have to do, Brittany, on just that in particular. But I'm telling y'all, taking things out of money, that shit is not real. Don't believe for a second that it is. It would be much better for you to put all your faith and trust into God taking care of you and to look to your daddy for everything that you need. And for you to be trusting in that money, don't let the devil wrap you up like that, for real.
Amen.
Yeah. You know I'll go.
I know, but hey, it's necessary because people need to hear that. And then another thing that I wanted to bring forth on here is that I feel like a lot of people, because for you, you know how they, I don't know if you know how they coming out with all these shirts like rich off here, rich off this, rich off that.
Yeah.
So I thought about that when I wrote down this next question, and I said, you know, a lot of people feel like you have to have like an original breakout idea in order to succeed, or basically like something that's, something, you got to have something original. You got to be the first. And so I would just say, what would you say to somebody that feels that way?
I feel like don't let feeling like you got to be an originator and something hold you back from greatness for real. Because that's just simply not true. Because you don't. You don't have to be the originator. You don't have to, that's not for everybody. That's for who it's for. Like some people that's for it, and they are going to be the originators of things that, you know what I'm saying, it's for them. And then other people, it's like, they're going to be people who see an idea and they're going to take it and say, I really like that thing that they did right there. But I would do mine like this.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And then they take it and they do theirs like this. And then it becomes this different thing. And then somebody else be like, well, I like what she did right there, but I'm going to do mine like this. And it keeps going from there. Like my grandma used to say, there's nothing new under the sun.
Right.
Right about that shit.
Yes.
There ain't nothing new under the sun. I'm sure we got social media now. Back in the Bible days, they probably had, I don't know, Bible media.
Right, they had scribes. That was the way they communicated. They had scribes, them little tablet scribe things they wrote on. Yeah. Right, scrolls and stuff. Right, exactly. So yeah, so please.
Nothing new under the sun for real. So don't let that hold you back. It's not for everybody. Actually, being an innovator is pretty hard. It's hard to know that you created something and came up with something, and you gave a life to something that came out of your head, and then see other people doing it.
Oh yes. Oh my God.
Everybody is not going to give you the honor of taking it and doing it their way. Some people going to just straight up outright copy your ass.
Right.
And as like an innovator, yeah, you got to be okay with that. So I feel like if you see something that you like, because I got rich off taxes, literally, like I was already rich off there, but nothing, ain't no money in the world like tax money. And if you would have told me I would be an accountant major at Georgia State University right now, and I would be an accountant doing taxes, I'd be like, girl, okay, where you got the trees from you smoking? I want something.
Right. Okay. that's a good thing to bring forth because some people feel like, oh, I started out in this, I gotta stay in this. And that's important, that you're saying this to let people know it's okay, if you started out in something and you want to transition, that's totally fine.
It's fine. You gotta grow, and I just wasn't growing in here anymore. I reached my pinnacle in it. I did 1.3 million every single year in it. You know what I'm saying? I had some of the biggest sales you ever seen on Instagram. The only thing I didn't hit was my $1 million sale that was always something I wanted to do with shit. I did a $250,000 sale, and I did $100,000 in a day, in 24 hours, in 3 days, 100 times for real. So I created something that I still see people doing to this day on Instagram. And I've been out of the hair game going on 2 years now. So it's like I just reached my pinnacle in it, and I wasn't passionate about it anymore. I do feel like whatever you're doing, you need to be passionate about it or develop some passion about it for real.
Right.
Me, I'm money motivated. So anything I start making a lot of money in, I'm gonna get passionate about that shit for real. Right. So that's how it happened for hair too. Like remember I said like I never knew it was gonna be hair. It was like I said, I wanted to get a hairstylist. I was a stripper. I went to prison. Like, I never knew it was gonna be hair. Like, hair got me in rooms that had nothing to do with my big old booty or my pretty face or how charming I was, my body, nothing. It was these hands. That's why I got tatted on my hand. Anointed for God's purpose for real. Because these hands is what got me.
And that's so crazy that you got that because on my hand, I literally have God's gift. I was listening to J. Cole, and J. Cole got a song called God's Gift. And I promise you, I got that tatted on my hand because of that. Because my hands are also my money maker. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. It's good to do that. I'm using their hands. You know what I'm saying? People fuck with the tattoos and shit like that, but they ain't giving a fuck about their tattoos and what I'm popping off if I ain't getting them the bread back for real. It's like, it be the hands the whole time that's on you. So it's like, I understand people being scared of the titties because I remember thinking like, if I'm not doing hair, what the hell am I going to do? And that shit was terrifying for me because my job, I said, like, damn, the streets is the only other option. So I know I ain't going back to that shit. So that scared me to think, like, I don't want to do this hair shit no more. I'm just over every aspect of it. I'm over teaching classes about hair. I'm over fucking doing installs. I'm over selling hair, cataloging stores. I'm just over this shit.
Oh my God, yes. It get like that sometimes, and that's okay. I want y'all to understand that is okay. That is okay. That's a big thing to understand.
Listen to what your body is saying. Like, it was better for you. I know you never heard this before. Gracefully bowing out.
Right.
That's what I did in the hair game. I gracefully bowed out. It was better for me to gracefully bow out than disgrace my name. And I already been through 2 situations. The other situation with the $250,000 sale, that same supplier I was telling you about, that literally taught me the hair game, turned around and fucked me over the first time I was spending $100,000 with them at one time. I ain't know no better. I sent the money through a wire, so I couldn't charge it back or get it back or no shit like that. And if I know what I know now, I would have motherfucking up my limit and made it federal and made the prices like that. These people sent me like some straight wigs on top. Like, they was okay on top, but then underneath straight bullshit, they sent me these wigs with 3 webs on the damn wig, like big ass faces in between. It was horrible. Like people ripping me a new asshole, and then me being who I am, I'm like, no, we can't send that shit out like that. No, what I know now would have sent them bitches out just like that. So if you say order received. So I'm trying to, recoup. I'm gonna spend another 80,000, recouping like one with another company. Like, hey, I need y'all to get these wigs. I got $100,000 worth of hair just sitting in my store. And I can't fucking at the time I thought I couldn't do nothing with it. And it's just like my first your ass. Right. That's what they did. But I don't let that shit stop me. You know what I'm saying? I still turned around and did $100,000 sale, you know, the right way after that, because that's what I mean by, you know, at that time I never had a $250,000 problem before. Right. So I didn't know what the fuck to do, but I figured out what to do, and then I knew what to do. Like, so next time I have a sale, I did like 100 racks on that sale. Shit was smooth selling for real. Because it was like I knew what to do. You know what I'm saying? I know not to do this. I know to do that. I know to start filling these orders immediately. I know to pay for these shit with a PayPal invoice and never send a supplier a wire again. Like, it was certain principles that I had learned from going through that first situation. So it's just like, you know, everything becoming full circle in business, man. But it's like, you can't give up. You know what I'm saying? You gotta keep going, because had I gave up then, man, whew, I can think of so many points in my life where if I would have stopped right there, like, shit, look at how much I would have missed. And then let me tell y'all something else. It's always like, before the storm, the worst, I mean, before the big blessing, the worst storm you ever had in your life. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ. Like, and I know some of y'all out there going through it right now. And I know we be making this shit look like it's just nothing on Instagram. That's why I'm trying to base mine around taxes. They're like, hey, this is how I'm buying all this shit and doing all this. And I can teach you how to do this shit easily too, and you can do it too. Versus just like, bitch, I'm rich and you're not. Like, you know what I'm saying? That don't work for me for real. So I try to like wrap education around it, but nonetheless, I know that Instagram makes that shit look so easy, and it's hard to look at people's highlights, especially when you're not having a good time in life right now. Right. But what I will say is, but still, even if you're going through the worst shit in your life, when you are looking at somebody win, even if you feel that little emotion like, damn, bro, fuck this bitch, like I really want this shit myself. You like when I feel jealousy, it's because I hate when people be like, I don't get jealous. This shit like when somebody tell me they don't get jealous, it's like the end of the conversation. I can't even talk to you no more. Right, because you're not even human. You're not even human then. I'm talking to AI. Look. Yep. Thank you. Thank you. I can't even have a real conversation with you no more if you're going to say you don't get jealous, because you're a human being and we all feel that emotion. Especially when we see someone with something that we've been praying and asking and believing God for. And speaking of that, one of my questions on here, and I don't have a lot of more questions on here, but one of my questions on here was, did you experience imposter syndrome when you were first, you know, rising up out of your circumstances? Or did you experience survivor's guilt once you made it? And if so, like, how did you overcome that? Because I think that's important too. So fucking good. Oh my God. Right. But it's important. Think about how many people need to hear that. Yes, I cannot wait to share this with my platform for real. They need to hear this interview for real. But it's like, all right,
Right. It be the underhanded.
Anyone that makes you feel like that, get far the fuck away from them. Only surround yourself with people that celebrate everything you do.
Amen. Amen.
For
That's
real,
good.
for real. Only surround yourself with people who celebrate literally everything you do.
For real.
They don't celebrate you, and then they got jokes and shit like that. Bitch, you can go joke with your motherfucking mama. Bitch.
Right. I'm talking about from the first sale to the last sale to the $2 sale to the whatever you doing. Get around people that's like, do that. You know.
You and Andrew, like I swear to you, like my best friend. I told you so much sister, you know. Like, bro, it was times I remember I was going through so much shit, and I just was not feeling like Billionaire Barbie at all. And I remember Lita used to be like, bitch, you Billionaire Barbie. Like, bitch, you gotta go look in the mirror. Bitch, you gotta go scroll through your Instagram. Somebody, these fucking people, fuck these people. I don't know what the fuck you going through. Only we know what you're going through right now. Girl, go scroll through your page and look at all your accomplishments. You are that bitch. And I remember I'm pulling me out of a lot of ruts and like depressions because I really have like depression bad. And I learned how to manage it better over, I would say, the last maybe 2 years. My last spell was real bad. Depression was probably like 2020 and maybe like 2021, part of 2021. But I've gotten a whole lot better. But my friend has literally pulled me out of that shit. Every single little win, she be celebrating it with me. And it's just like, you know, I just say a lot about it because sometimes you might really like the person, but this person's shady and they got so this is so right. You on the block with it because I'm never talking to you, fucking with you. If your intent is to try to hurt my feelings or make me feel crunchy or make me feel some type of way, I'm not going to be around you. So I think that a lot of people mess up their flow because they're surrounded by people that they know is hating on them.
Right. Yeah, you're
people
right.
That they know is shady as fuck. Bitch, fuck you and your joke to your joke.
And they don't want to let them go. And they don't want to let them go a lot of times because they feel like, well, I don't want to be alone in this journey, or people feel like, oh, it's lonely at the top or whatever.
It's so lonely at the top. You don't have to be lonely at the top and have much fuck around you that's hating on you for real.
Yeah.
You're first of confident, and you're going to need people around you that are confident boosters when you in this thing called entrepreneur life, and you're dealing with Instagram, and you're getting a following. You got that case behind your name, now your shit growing. Now you out at the mall and shit, people know who you is. Like you, now people love you and they hate you too. You better need somebody, people around you that boost your confidence, not try to hurt your confidence. And I still be telling myself that to this day. Anybody that come around or that agenda or you know some people pop back up in like, you know, I really have love for this person and you let them back around and then you know how it goes, like they'll say it like that first they feel like they comfortable.
Right. And then do the same thing.
These are the same things I say, little shit, just disconnect. Remember what I said earlier, snip. I don't give a fuck. God rest my grandma's soul, both my grandma's dead. But it could be my grandma. If they have to I would cut both my grandmas out before they died.
Wow, yeah. And sometimes it gotta be like that. Yeah, she definitely did. You know, I done had my times with her.
Yes. Girl, my grandma Moselle too, and you know that was my love, my heart. So if I'm saying that about Moselle, we said we got, come on now. Barbara Jones, my mama, I done cut her off.
Child, yes.
I done cut my little sister Bria, I done cut my best friend, I'm telling y'all about. I done cut my older daughter, even Princess, I done like, we didn't say much, I ain't messing with your ass.
Look, she cut us off too. One time. She cut us off too, and I was like, dang, what I did? But you know, hey, we bounced back. We done had our situations. Y'all done cut my ass off too for real. But you know what happened? Look what happened though. It's called holding somebody accountable when you do that. Right. Because if that person really love you, they're gonna right that wrong. And I'm getting chills right now because look, my sister taught me about social media and don't be getting on there throwing no shade and saying no fuckery. I said some shit on social media out of anger, out of some shit that another family member had said that wasn't even true for real, but I just didn't put what this family member said and ran with that shit. So wrote some shit on Instagram, but I'm not adding my sister directly, but it's like, if you know what, you know I'm talking about my sister. Right. My sister lost her motherfucking mind on me, flip her top, and cut me the fuck off, and didn't talk to me for a long ass time. And I had to come back to my sister, there's a party, and like, they shit right, me and you was at odds and all of that shit during that time, but look what happened. on your business page. That is definitely some business advice. Please don't put
impactful of a lesson that was for me. It was so impactful that even to this day, if I get around somebody, like, because I'm not even like a story watcher or that like that, but I guess if you just came around me and I like you, I might look a couple of times or look on your page. If I see you got like some shady quotes still stories on your page and shit going on, you start saying, I'm gonna cut your ass off. And it's gonna be open before it started because I'm gonna see you that type of person.
right.
But what I learned from that situation was bring that shit to the forefront and sit down like an adult and have a conversation about it. Because throwing shade ain't never get none of us nowhere. Talking shit on them stupid ass pages don't get you nowhere but
Right.
talking the situation.
Right. It just make it deeper than what it is. Yeah. So please, business owners, do not bring your drama to social media. Handle that face to face. You know, handle it face to face.
Business owners should ever bring to social media is customer drama. Because sometimes you gotta start a pot for real.
Don't listen to her. Don't listen to her. Don't listen to her. That's one part of this podcast. I'm gonna say, do not listen to her.
Listen, hear me out. In business, nobody likes the page that's always nice all the time. And I ain't saying you gotta be happy, but I'm saying sometimes in business, with certain situations that are customer and business related, you know, I call it nice nasty. Like,
right.
Like you gotta do
like me, Shelly, nice tea.
Yeah.
Shout out to me, Shelly.
Be good and right and stuff like fuck you, cut. Yeah, no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying sometimes you gotta like cut your shit and do your bit one in the nicest way possible, like as respectfully as possible, and let them know like it's not that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay, so I'll stamp that.
At the same time.
I'll stamp that.
Yeah.
So with that said, I have, let me, I think I got like 2 more questions. So, okay. So with that said, kind of backtracking just a little bit, because I know you know, openly admitted that, you know, you were struggling and, you know, Lita had to speak life into you. And, you know, this was seemingly, because I know you mentioned 2020, this was seemingly while you were still, you know, at a pinnacle in your career. So with that said, a question I have for you that I feel like a lot of people let go over their head is, does money truly buy happiness? Do you believe that it buys happiness? And the reason I'm asking that is because you are in a place in your life where, you know, you're well to do. You know, but for a person who may be looking at you and they may feel like, oh, she's just happy all the time or everything's just great all the time, what would you say?
Oh, that's a good one. I'm gonna answer that question honest as I could possibly be. Does money buy happiness? Sometimes yes. Sometimes yes it does. You know what I'm saying? But can it keep you happy? Like, let me break down what I'm saying. I say sometimes yes because like if I'm having a bad day, I might go get some retail therapy and I might go in Saks or Urban's or whatever my favorite store is and buy me something, right? And I'll feel happy at the time because I bought this thing.
Right, that instant gratification, right.
Instant gratification. If I brought it home, I probably got some content, so I know this content is probably gonna make me some more money or whatever. So at the time I'm happy about that. But when I come through that door and I bring that shit in the house and I put it down, maybe I open it up and put the bag of some shoes or some shit, I put it in my closet, maybe I go out to dinner somewhere or something, wear it or take it with me or whatever it might be, right? Then after that, that's it for that happiness. So I can say temporarily yes, but true happiness no. Oh God, I'm so glad you asked this.
That was good.
In this building called the Huntley that you guys came to.
Yeah, I know that.
The New Year's with me.
Right.
The nicest place, that was the nicest apartment that I had ever lived in my life. It was like equivalent to a mansion in the sky. That shit was dope as fuck. And those were the most depressed times I ever had in my life. Like, account for the money, I can go buy whatever the fuck I wanted. But it was just something off in that building. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just like, I don't know. I was so sad all the time living there. Like, I wouldn't, some days I wouldn't even be able to get out of my bed. It was that bad, like, debilitating depression for real. So I feel like, could money buy me happiness? you having the wrong people around you is going to bring you a sadness that money can never, no amount of money can never take away. That's why you'll see a millionaire jump off a fucking 40-foot building.
Right. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, ooh, I'm getting scared of calling me Jesus. Like, I feel like, I know these people are like, oh my God, this girl is talking about Jesus, hallelujah, and cursing. God still working on me. And also, I don't know if that will ever go away because I just approach it from a real perspective. So we got to do this again for sure.
Right.
Really, like, really know, you know what I'm saying, how deep it goes. But I feel like your investment should be in people.
Right.
The right people.
Right.
Like, not money, not acquiring. Remember what I said about money? It's not even real. Like, don't let that shit fuck your interpersonal relationship with people up. Now you don't got no people. Now your ass really depressed as fuck.
It makes me think about Ari Lennox. I know this is random, but Ari Lennox I love Ari Lennox. Shout out to Ari Lennox. She probably don't listen to this, but you never know. I know. And so Ari Lennox has this song from her album Shape of the Baby. And she has this song called New Apartment. And literally like at the dead end of New Apartment, she's like basically New Apartment is talking about moving in your own apartment, being able to do what you want to do, walk around naked, drink champagne or whatever you want to do because it's yours. But in the end of the song, she says something like, oh man, like, in so many other words, there's nobody here, like, I'm lonely, like, and she's like, I need people, like, I don't know if you ever heard that part of that song, and she like, I don't got nobody to teach me how to Dougie, but like, and I know that's random, but like, literally, it's so true, because you can have all this stuff, and literally have nobody to share it with, and it can be so lonely. Yeah.
People around you that you're sharing it with.
Right.
You lost that shit today, they're going to be gone. They're going to be gone too.
Right. They're going to be gone today, not tomorrow. Look, people be like, people be like, oh yeah, you know, they're going to be here today and gone tomorrow. No, they're going to be gone today.
They're going to be gone today. As soon as your ass don't got it today, they're going to be gone out of sight, out of mind today. And I've been there before with people, you know, it's so funny to me, you know, with people, niggas and bitches are like that. You know, I feel like left me in certain situations and then now they come back around and I might entertain that shit for a little while just to rub it in. I'm not going to lie, y'all. Like, I'm not going to entertain it for a little while just to rub it in and be like, yeah, motherfucker, yeah. I know what you're thinking. Damn, I should have stayed down in the dirt with the motherfucking caterpillar. So I could be up in the tower with the butterfly. Yep, I know. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's like, man, like having the right people around you is so important because life is going to fucking life. Life be like this. Right. So when life is in and you got there with the people around you, I feel like that adds to the suicide factor. That's when people just give up and be like, I don't want to do this shit at all no more for real. You know what I'm saying? And it really do get that deep. You gotta have people around you that if you got zero or you got it all, they still there. Man, listen, me and this girl used to eat popcorn, ramen noodles, I remember we used to forgot off the meat, the Wendy's, dollar menu, the fucking Waffle House, chili. Like, we was poor. We didn't have nothing, you know what I'm saying? And then, we had a lot of abundance. And then we had shit again. And then we had abundance. So, we've been on extreme both ends of the spectrum. And I think that's so important to surround yourself with people like that. You know what I'm saying? Having the right people around you so that, you know, when trials happen and things will come, you do got people in your corner. Like I said, invest in people. Put your energy, your time, your effort more so in people than money. Because money don't come. It is. If your mindset in the right place and you did the shadow work and you reprogram your subconscious thoughts and you're you're thriving and you're in the abundant state. That's why my Instagram page says everything in abundance. Like there's no shortage of nothing over here. Everything is in abundance, literally. And since that's been my declaration, that's been what's been reflected in my life for real. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like putting your time, energy, and effort into people. That's the best thing I could have did. Like this relationship with this girl, I wouldn't even be who I am today if it wasn't for me
been on like Shark Tank and all kind of stuff, and he just well to do. And I was watching his interview, and I can't remember the name of the man who he did the interview with, but it's in the link, so I can send it to you so you can listen to it. Yeah. But in this interview, he said, he said, you're the most qualified to help the person that you used to be. I'm going to say that one more time. He said, you're the most qualified to help the person that you used to be. So with that said, my last question for you is, what advice would you give to the young girl or the young guy who's just like you, the person that you used to be? Whether it's no father figure or a rocky paternal relationship, a rocky maternal relationship, an exotic dancer, somebody that was in the street, whatever. What would you say to them? What is something that you wish that you would have heard that you can share with that person that's at the bottom? Share with that person that's from Span Street. Share with that person that's from 45th and Moncrief that's at the bottom but got big dreams.
Jesus. That's so profound. That's such a profound question. If I had to look back at if I had to look back and go at young Toya, you know what I'm saying, or somebody that it reminds me of young Toya, somebody that was in a position that I used to be in, I would tell them, baby, whatever it is that you want to do, no matter if that shit seems impossible right now, fucking go for it. And go full throttle for it, no matter how crazy it seems. I got married to my ex-husband in 7 days. I knew this man for 1 week. I got married to him in 7 days. So, yeah, and those are the things I would tell, like, young me for real. You know what I'm saying? Don't fuck up good opportunities on that young, stupid ass shit.
Right.
Oh my God. I guess there's so much good opportunities. Just being young and dumb yourself, I'm not gonna lie.
Right. It's okay, and we all do, and that's okay, you know. And sometimes God bring them opportunities back around. You know, He may delay it, but He may bring them back around. And sometimes He don't, and you got to sit in the fact that that was a lesson for you.
Yep.
And that was a teachable moment for you to go around and teach people like, hey, I effed up and I did this, that. So you don't have to do that.
Because you don't got to do it. I already made the mistake for you. So unless you actually want to feel pain and experience pain and despair, there's no reason that you got to go put yourself in this stuff. I could just, you can tell me what you're feeling about, and then I can just tell you how it's going to go for you down there. Well, trust me, I haven't seen it all, done it all, got to see sort of walk it word again. So it's not too much that I can't tell you about.
Right.
So I would rather just tell you and let you live through my experience having already gone through it to save you that pain in your life and give you an out of you and a one up so you can be like, oh, no. One day I told you, don't go to the left, I'm going to go to the right. I'm going to go right and do this shit big for real. So it's just like, listen to older people sometimes when they talking to you, but don't, you know what I'm saying? Just only be discernment. That's what I was saying. Oh my God, discernment. You gotta pray to ask God for it. Because it do be hard out here. And some people are really good at their deception.
Right.
So you gotta ask God to give you that discernment. It's like a Bible verse like, well, all I get is wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. But it's like, add discernment to that list. Lord, please give me discernment clearly to see people, places, and things for who and what they really are, and then the courage to move accordingly once you show me.
Right, exactly. And that last part is important because sometimes people be like, oh, Lord, give me the discernment, Lord. Please give me the discernment. Okay. And then you like, amen. And then you go and you just move, but you don't wait to hear first.
Yeah, you show you what time it is. You ask him to show you, and then he tells you. And then you're like, oh, but like, now you want to reason with him.
Right.
But do you think, like, no, you know what I'm saying? So that last part, you got to have it, like, give you the courage and the strength to move accordingly once he shows you for real. I really feel like all of us need that, you know what I'm saying? Because some people be really good at what they do in some setup situations, but if you trust that discernment for real, and then you just move like how, like, when God is telling me who somebody is, this is like, I believe him. I don't got to see for myself. Don't be like, let me see for myself. Not when it comes down to things of the spirit. Like, that's what God gave us the Holy Spirit for. So we're going to see for ourselves because he knows before us. You know what I'm saying? He knows conversations that these people are talking about you that you will never know about.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so sometimes he keeping people at their distance, like don't bring people close that he wants you to be. And I'm talking to myself right now too. A lot of times I do that. When I be talking,
Yeah,
I'll be like,
me too.
Yeah, like, don't be like, if he can't keep it at a distance, keep it at a distance. Like, oh my God, if that one piece of advice alone, I would have just grabbed sooner. Stuff would have been a lot better. So it's just like, you know what I'm saying? The discernment, you need it for real. It's like, I gotta say it. I mean, doing here? You smoking weed, drinking, I'm a stripper. She was like, God is not concerned with none of that.
Right.
She said, he don't care about none of that. She said, just come to him like you is, just stop running from him. He said, if you stop running and you come to him, finally, it's going to be like you won the lottery.
Yeah.
This is what this lady told me, Brittany. This was Atlanta circa 2012, maybe, or 13. She said, God said, if you stop running and you come to him, it's going to be like you hit the lottery. And Freddie, when I tell you, wow, that lady was on point.
Yeah, and sometimes God is in the most random of people. So don't be so quick to shoot people away, because God can send anybody, a baby, a homeless man, a homeless lady, or whomever, to speak to you.
Sometimes you entertain the angels and you ain't even know it, for real.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I just got chills through my whole body just there, for real. So I just want to say that and drive that home. Because the enemy wants to send a message that you need to get yourself right before you come to God. But if you needed to get yourself right before you came to God, there would have been no need for God to send his son for you.
Amen.
So that's our indication. We can't get ourselves right for God. Only God can get us right through him. All we have to do is come to him and believe and receive the free gift that he gave us. He didn't say, go stop smoking weed, stop fornicating with your boyfriend, stop stealing or whatever it is you're doing. And when you stop all that stuff, come to me, he said, no, come to me exactly like how you are. So, I'm gonna fix all them broken pieces. Yeah, we're gonna fix them all. You know, when I first got saved, we was super birthdays. Like, baby, we said, we wouldn't even go to Beyonce. We said, oh no, baby, that's the money. We don't listen to that.
Right.
Listen, we were so sad, but you know what? I had to realize that I wasn't reaching nobody like that. Who am I to look down my nose at anybody knowing what I done been doing and did in my life?
Right.
So I know I had to approach it from a real perspective, and I was just like, I'm just gonna be real about this thing. Some people are not gonna understand it, and some people are not gonna like me, but it is what it is for real.
Right.
And it's like, you know, once I started posting like that, I feel like I reach a lot more people. I had people get saved in my shit for real. So it's like, God really do bring everything around full circle, but don't be out there thinking you need to change anything about yourself. Just go take yourself with all your medicine, all your good stuff too, and everything that you come with, and go to God first. That's the best advice I can give you. And don't let the enemy trick you out your position by telling you, you know, you did this one thing, so you should go back and do it head first and sin, because you're not going to wake up a day in your life and not sin.
Right.
It's just like I said, if it was so easy for us, it wouldn't have been no need for Christ to go through everything that he goes through, went through, and suffer, and be tortured like that. Like, their fight was so great because it was that ticket was so high because life was so great for real.
Right.
So, if we could just be perfect, we'll still just be under the law right now.
Right.
So, really hear my words, y'all, and take what I'm saying. I know I'm getting preachy and this happens, but take what I'm saying at face value. Just go to God first. Like, me going to God was the best thing I ever did with my life. I swear to y'all, the best thing I ever did, hands down. And really trusting him to guide me and order my steps. And it's been a wonderful journey. It's been a wonderful ride. We're still on the journey, and I'm still trusting God every single day and believing God for things every single day. Thanking God every single day and trying to introduce people, you know what I'm saying? Introduce God to people every single day. It never stops for me. So I would say, of all the money, the fame, all of that stuff, the experiences, that has been the most rewarding things I've ever done with my life, for real. So don't let that go over your head, for real.
Please don't. That is so beautiful. That is such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful way to wrap this up. And first of all, or not first of all, but last of all, I just want to thank you so much for doing this for me, because I ain't gonna lie, I had kind of counted this as a lost cause, y'all. I ain't even gonna lie. I was like, my auntie is not gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna interview somebody else. I'm just gonna let it die. But she reached out to me and it let me know that she was serious, and we got it done.
He thought I was in the middle of working. He was like, you need to do that thing with Grace. You need to do that podcast. And he was like, you need to reach out to her. He was like, stop what you're doing right now, call her. And I told you I was just on the key while I was trying to
Right. Yeah.
So I think it was really important for, you know what I'm saying? This is really special to me. I can't wait till you see me to be able to get it out to everybody. And I hope they take the time to really listen. But this was real special. I'm glad we did it. And we definitely need to do a couple statements. There's some things.
Yes. Yes, we do. Yeah, we gonna get. I'm gonna get into some other things. I'm diving all in from business to personal to everything. So yeah, this is not the first time y'all gonna hear Billionaire Barbie. This is just the introduction. Yeah, this is just the introduction. So in closing, I want to say to you all, thank you to those of you who made it to the end of this podcast. I hope and I pray that you listen to every single word that she and I have shared with you, because we dropped a lot of gems in this episode, and I know that this episode is going to change some lives. So just remember to just do it scared. Remember, I'm gonna tell y'all, like my daddy always say, shout out to said, T, scared money don't make no money. So you know what I'm saying? Do it. There ain't nothing. And I'm gonna tell you one more thing. My daddy always say, ain't nothing to it but to do it. So just do it. You know, don't be scared. I know it's, you know, it might be new for you. Some of y'all may have never owned a business before, but you never know how just being obedient to God, as she just has said, and just really, really tuning into that voice from God that you hear, and following your dreams, or listening, or writing down them ideas, you know what I'm saying? As soon as God gives them to you, I don't care where you are. You be in the grocery store, you be in the shower like me, you could be in the car, you could be on the porch, whatever you're doing. Hone in on those ideas, rather, you know, and don't let them pass you by. Don't ever feel like you're too small, because God can literally use each and every one of us to get whatever his mission is across, whatever that may be for you, but just do it anyway. And I just want to say, you know, stay encouraged. You know, don't let anybody talk you out of your dreams, out of your visions, or anything like that, because what's for you is for you. And I'm gonna go ahead and close this episode out with my saying that I usually always say all the time. I didn't say it on my last episode, but it's okay. Charge it to my mind, not my heart. But remember to always be authentic,